Alrighty. I had some people ask me some questions, and they said, "Oh, you know, we don't know that much about you," which I kind of figured, you know, whatever you want to know, I'll answer. How tall are you? I am 6 feet tall. I'm 72 inches from tip to tip. Have I ever been to a Comic-Con? I actually volunteer, or used to volunteer, not so much anymore, with Wizard World. So yes, I'm very familiar with Comic-Con. My dream is to go to the San Diego Comic-Con, though. I'd love to do that. How many dogs do I have? I have 6. I have Sable Merle, Mahogany Sable, Sable, Blue Merle, White Factor Tri, and Black and Tan Collie. The whole rainbow, pretty much. What kind of animals have I had? I've had an emu. I raised peacocks actually up until this year. This is my first year not having peafowl. Let's see, ostrich. I mean, not an ostrich, an emu named Cadbury, because we got him on Easter. Oh, I've had so many. I've had all kinds of reptiles, amphibians. I would have to say my favorite pet that I've ever had was a Toulouse goose named John. I bought 2 of them when they were little goslings, John and Kate Gosling. John was just, oh man, he was amazing. I miss him. I loved him so much. The same neighbor that I've mentioned before. Yeah. Favorite game or movie genre? I love horror and crime. I love thriller, suspense, drama, that kind of stuff. But horror movies are my favorite. What are my favorite movies? My top 6 movies are a little, they kind of run the gamut of each extreme. Burbs, Last Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Jaws, Big Trouble in Little China, and Tropic Thunder. I love that movie. I don't care what anybody says. I love Tropic Thunder. That movie is just so much fun to me. So I can pull it up on here so I'm not having to watch on that. But no, this does not want to work for me. Why is this one? No. Okay, I'm trying to pull up something right now, and it is just not cooperating. Okay, well, let's go back to this one. Alright, so yeah, I love, and Last Dragon, that's very gory, Last Dragon, because that's the one that matters. Well, and Bruce Lee's is awesome, but, yeah. I don't know why this is not pulling up. Trying to get it working here. I have no idea why this is not cooperating with me. Okay, there we go, there we go. Yay! You can see my issue, though. What is my favorite food to eat and to cook? I love meat. I love steak. I am a big meat eater. I like to cook things that are, I guess you could say, fancy, because I'm not going to spend like $100 a plate to go to, you know, a 3 Michelin star restaurant, which the Michelin system was created by Michelin tires. So whenever they said that a certain restaurant was like 2 or 3 Michelin stars, it meant that it was much further than the 1 Michelin star restaurants, and it was made, or it was created to wear your tires out, so you would buy more tires. But yeah, I like to make food that is primarily at fancier restaurants, not because I'm bougie or anything, but because I'm cheap. And I figure, I want to try it before I'd ever pay that much money for it. And some of that stuff, like prime rib roast, all that stuff, that's expensive enough to make at home. So that is that. Why was I so sick? Um, I had really, really bad allergies. Um, that's really all it was. We got that polar vortex. It hasn't really hit Texas that much, but it is now. We're catching the little tail end of it. And it just destroyed my allergies. Um, is anyone else from Random Bunch ever going to show? So I guess Will is not satisfying everybody's craving for more Random Bunch. Um, I hope so. I hope that we can get together and everything, so we can make that work. Um, I know Tom and Mike probably would not be available. Actually, I don't think any of them are available on during the week except for the weekends, and that's when we do the Random Bunch show. Um, but yes, hopefully, absolutely, if they get a gap in their schedule and everything, absolutely. But it's the whole lining schedules up, My favorite tabletop game. Oh man, I can tell you the one everybody hates to play with me, and that's Clue. I can solve Clue pretty much right away. As soon as I get my cards, I can just look at everything, and I normally can solve it immediately. So most people don't play Clue with me. I still enjoy it. Betrayal at the House on Haunted Hill. Widow's Walk is the expansion pack. I think I said the name wrong. I can't remember. I don't remember past like the first 2 words of everything. Hi. But I like that game. It's fun. I really like Choose Your Own Adventures, and I actually have a game that is made by the company that invented the Choose Your Own Adventure books and everything. I just haven't gotten around to playing it. Those were some of the main questions that people asked me. I just wrote them down real quick. And I can't read my own handwriting. Oh, what is my schooling? Thought that was interesting. I was actually glad somebody asked about that. I have 2 bachelor's degrees. I have 2 associates, 4 certifications. So, yeah. I was on my way to my master's, but I decided I'd rather start making money now. And so I went straight from college. I graduated high school. We did trimesters. And I graduated the first trimester, so I was already out of high school that December. So I only went from August to December. I finished my senior year because I had 1 class, Algebra 2D. Anyways, so I had to finish that. And then by the time my graduating class walked the stage, I was already in college. I think I'd actually already finished my first semester in college. And the only reason I even walked across the stage is because my parents wanted me to. I didn't care. High school was... I don't get people that still relive high school. Because if you still relive it, that means you peaked. And that's the best your life ever got. No. My life got insanely better after high school. And it wasn't bad in high school. It's just... I felt that high school held me back. Like, I wanted to go forward. I wanted to push myself, get my future going. And I felt like high school held me back. So that's why I graduated the first trimester, went straight into college, busted my butt in school to get it done. I was taking, I had to petition with the dean to be able to take 20 credit hours a semester. So I got, in total, for the 2 associates, 2 bachelors, and the 4 certificates, it took me a little more than 2 years to do all that. So, yeah, and then as soon as I was done with that, I went straight into working in corrections, a government job, making way more money than anybody else my age at that time. So, that's my education. criminal justice psychology, sociology, ethics. My certifications are in diesel repair, diesel and heavy equipment operator, and automotive repair. Let's see, what else? I get a lot of questions about the cases that I've worked on or that I've currently worked on, or am working on. I'm not really, I have a couple cases right now, but they're not sensational, I guess you could call it. So people wouldn't be too interested in that. The most confusing case I ever had that I had to work for my forensic research was a dog bite, actually, a fatal dog bite, and it was just a big mess. There was like yeah, I've never done it where the culprit was a canine. I've only done cases where, I mean, maybe there was an accidental death, you know, maybe that's like what it ended up being, but it was never that, you know, that point blank. But I've never had one where from the beginning it's been a dog. That was just insane to me. Accounts. Trying to get this pulled up. Got a lot of new followers. Hello, everybody. Thank you for following. Yeah, this was one of the, I was not very prepared for it. I just written some stuff down. I do have a book review, though, that, not really a review, but a recommendation, is Murder in Brentwood by Mark Furman. I didn't even hit play. That is a great book about, obviously, Mark Furman, but it really helps you see how the entire Simpson case was just absolutely blown up into something it wasn't. I mean, the whole race thing. You can just see like the little puppeteers back there just pulling the strings. So I mean, it's a good book. He does come off as a condescending asshole, but he had achieved enough. He had achieved enough success that I do think, you know, it was merited. He earned the right to be a jerk, pretty much. You know, comes with the territory, and I cannot get this to pull up. Every other thing will pull up but it. I got too much crap open on my phone anyways. But, yeah, so that's, my book review is for that. I find it very interesting. If you are into crime and everything, then I definitely think that, you know, you would enjoy it as well. Just the behind the scenes aspect of it, I think, is very enjoyable. So, definitely look into that. Alright, I'm trying to check my messages here. Let's see. The easiest case I ever worked on was, I was hired by a family I was supposed to not only track down heirs, but then to an estate, but I was also supposed to find out if any of them had anything to do with the death of the patriarch of the family. And I'm trying to think if I can, yeah, okay. Well, because it happened more than once, but not exactly the same, but I believe I'm being vague enough that I can say what happened. But anyways, it ended up that the person that hired me was the person that had also hired somebody to kill his dad. So that was interesting, and then they tried to not pay me. But, you know, there's some, I mean, of course everybody wants to get paid, but if I don't get paid for a case, and it was a case that, you know, really spoke to me, then I don't want to be scammed like that. But I am much more accepting of it. You know, I take, it's like, okay, well, that's just, you know, the way it goes, and I need to change if I can ever get to it. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. that because that looks like I'm sitting here playing a game and I don't want anybody watching it and be like, oh yeah, look at her. So there we go. Ah, it's better. So yeah, that was an interesting case just because the person that hired me was the person that did it. I had somebody that tried to kill their fiance with tiger whiskers. They had put tiger whiskers, they used a mortar and pestle and they, ground it all up and everything. And then they put the tiger whiskers in his coffee and grits, which I thought the grits was actually a good idea because, I mean, that would be really hard to pick up on. It's essentially broken glass, like pulverized glass with little barbs. And, I mean, it was around in, feudal times. It's always been around as, a way of, like in India, um, all that for, you know, everything from treatments to murder. They've used tiger whiskers and everything. And so it was really interesting to see it happen here in the States. And what it was is they had imported a taxidermied tiger. I did not look into anything about this tiger other than if the whiskers were original or real, or if they were just, thick monofilament kind of things. No, they were real. And apparently there's some big thing about that you cannot import tiger whiskers, if you can even import the taxidermied or, the high, whatever they call it, that you're not supposed to be able to do it with the tiger whiskers because apparently, like, people are prone to do this. I don't know. But, not turtles, Turd Ferguson, the tortoise is moving around again. Yeah, I was talking about him earlier, and I was saying how, my mom got him when he was, real small and everything, and how she got sick, so she couldn't, I mean, she took care of him fine, but she couldn't give him attention, and, a lot of tortoises do enjoy attention. They're very, I don't want to say social, but community kind of reptiles. So I was like, okay, well, fine, I'll take him. I got, plenty of room. And he is just not nice. He's mean to me specifically. He's very mean to me. He's a jerk. So that's why his name is Turd Ferguson, because he's a turd. I kept just calling him a turd, but then that changed his name. I can't remember what I was calling him before. Oh, Tort Ferguson. That's why I call it, because I named him after Norm Macdonald on Celebrity Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live. And I was calling him Tort Ferguson. And I still, like, whenever a kid asks his name, I say Tort. But no, it's Turd. Turd Ferguson. Because he's a turd. Jerk is what I should call him. Nah, I love that tortoise, even though he's a jerk. Kind of makes me like him even more, that he's got that kind of personality. But yeah, that was definitely the weirdest case. And I think, had I not already had some knowledge of the tiger whiskers, if I had not had some, just little scintilla of knowledge about that, I don't think that A, I would have been able to solve it in any reasonable amount of time. But B, I definitely would have been just so lost the whole time. It would have, I either wouldn't have been able to come to a conclusion, or it would have taken me a very long time. And that is why I encourage people to read, learn as much as you can, know as much as you can about everything. Because when you're smart, you will always, in some way, win. Win personally, professionally, privately, just whatever. Just, there are no advantages in life to being stupid, to being ignorant, or being arrogant. There's no, I mean, I guess the advantages are you're too stupid to know when something bad happens to you. But I don't think anybody would choose to be stupid, and I really wish people would stop opting to be arrogant and ignorant, because I do believe that those are options. I don't think, I mean, I think there are certain cases, like, I'll just bring up my brother. as I was saying, that we were raised around animals, lots of animals, always, always, always had animals. And when he was like 19, he left a bowl of cold skim milk out for one of our cats, and I'm allergic to cats. But anyways, put it in the middle of the kitchen while he's 5 years older than me. While I went somewhere with my mom, I can't remember what I did. But anyways, a bowl of cold skim milk. For 19 years, he was raised around animals. He knows cats only drink milk in movies. And skim milk, really? His cat food was right there. This cat was like 10 years old. So at no point has his cat ever been given a bowl of milk, much less cold skim milk. Now see, that's ignorance and arrogance, because he puts himself so much more important and higher up than anything else that he didn't even know the most simplistic thing to do. What the hell do you feed the cat? So in his case, I consider it to be, you are welcoming of stupidity. So, but yeah, all you got to do is just know him. So, yeah, that's ignorance and arrogance, and they often go hand in hand. So there's that. Oh, yeah. There were some questions because I had commented on how out of all of us, I'm the only one that owns a house. So people were asking some questions about that. After I finished college and I went to work in corrections, like I said, I was making a lot of money doing that. I was also doing stand-up comedy and hustling pool. So I was, at the time, rolling in the money. Longed for those days. And so when I was 22, I bought a house. That was, I lived in an apartment for a couple of, my apartment was huge. It was huge. And apparently, like, shortly after I moved out, it went pure trash. When I lived there, I got a law enforcement discount and a senior citizens discount, because in my unit was 3 80-plus-year-old women. The one that lived upstairs across the hall from me, she was like never there. The one that lived below me, that poor woman, she was apparently horribly abused by her husband, so she was agoraphobic. And then there was another one that was across the hall from her, underneath Boo, the one that was across from me. And she was really the only one that I had any contact with. They were like the Golden Girls. But one thing got me. We had an off-duty police officer, Lancaster. He said Lancaster, but I know for a fact he didn't work for Lancaster. But he claimed he worked for Lancaster Police Department, had a big old Great Dane and everything. In my apartment, I had an English Mastiff puppy, a Schnauzer, my Doberman backup, and a cat. My cat was like a dog, so he never cleaned himself. I had to give him baths and everything, so he didn't bother my allergies. My apartment was over 1,600 square feet, and it had steps that led straight down into a fenced-in area and then the pool area. So it was, yeah, I mean, it was a very nice apartment. The apartment, bigger than my house, not by much, but yeah, and I was only paying like $600 a month for it because of all the discounts and everything. But then I found out there was, I think, a city councilman that lived there that had an affinity for Filipino underage boys in Speedos. There were a lot of people that worked. He might not have been a councilman. He might have been a judge. I can't exactly remember. But there were a lot of influential people. John Wiley Price, douchebag. He had a house right around the corner because it was in Kessler Park, which is a Richie area. But yeah, I remember it was about midnight, and I heard a knock on my door, and I was working midnights at the time, and this was like the first time I was not working a double or working overtime, so I was actually home. And there's a knock on my door, and I'm like, who the hell is coming to my apartment at midnight? Okay, I'm in Dallas. I'm not answering my door. So I looked through the people. I didn't see anybody there. And it was, you know, a straight hall that was maybe 8 feet long, 8 to 10 feet long, like between my door and Boo's door. And then by Boo's door were the stairs. So through my peephole, I could see if anybody was down at the landing. So I could see there was nobody in front of the door, but I still waited just in case they were being crafty and squatting down. Can never be too careful. So I waited a little bit. I mean, not long, like, you know, not even a minute. And I opened the door, and there is this horse standing in front of me. And as soon as I saw it, I shut the door because, you know, there's like this giant thing in front of me. And as soon as I shut the door, I realized it was that Great Dane. So then I can hear him. I can hear him coming up the stairs. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Yeah, what are you doing at my apartment in the middle of the night? What do you want?" Yeah. Climbing up, DJ. I'm on fire. No, I'm probably just lucky. And he said, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, two of the women in the building, there were four including me, two of the women downstairs reported hearing a loud thud and then had not seen me for 2 weeks. So all I'm thinking is, all right, you wait 2 weeks to investigate a thud that you are positive came from my apartment. You wait 2 weeks. Nobody has seen me in 2 weeks. Like I said, I worked midnight, so I would leave at 9, and then I'd work my shift until 6 or 7, and then I'd work overtime, so I wasn't getting home until like 5 in the evening. You know, it really depended on how things went, because I would alternate if I would do the shift before or the shift after mine, so I could make sure that I was getting some sleep. I'm like, why would you wait that long before you come to see if I'm alive? You know, I think what he did is I think he brought his dog because his dog would have been able to smell my body. It's raining. I can hear water in my fireplace dripping. But yeah, so I don't know why. How are y'all? I gotta say y'all because, you know, it's Texas and all that. I thought that was always a funny thing. Waiting 2 weeks to see if I'm alive. Trying to think. There was a 3-legged armadillo that lived underneath the stairs that went down to the pool area of the apartment. Yeah, well, it is Friday, so, you know, what is it? Friday. I'm going to kill Rebecca Black on Friday. Working. I always hate that. Oh, how was work? It was work. You know, it sucked or it didn't suck, but, you know, if I'm not smiling, then I'm just seeing if there's... Oh, yeah, somebody had asked me for my easy Lao Mein recipe. I will actually get that. It's up there. If I can remember it off the top of my head. I can't remember the measurements, but soy sauce, oyster sauce, splash of sesame oil, cornstarch. I think I already said that. I can't remember what else I put in it. And that's just the sauce. And then you saute it with onions and bell pepper. You want to cut the bell pepper thin so the bell pepper gets softer and everything. You don't so much tell. I know, I need to iron it. It's I keep forgetting it's reversed. Or not iron it. I don't know how to iron. I have a steamer. So I need to steam it and everything. I just thought it would be a little nicer looking than looking straight into, you know, my den of junk. Oh yeah, I was asked several questions about horror movies. Scariest, best scenes and all that. The best opening scene of any movie ever, and I will fight you on this, is Ghost Ship. Oh my God, that was so awesome. 116 people are viewing me? Oh man, y'all must be bored. I'm only showing 12. Man, that's 116 bored people to be watching me. But definitely, best opening scene is Ghost Ship. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin anything for you. I do remember the first time I watched the movie, I thought I was watching the wrong movie. I don't want to ruin it. It's so awesome. It really is. And it's a good movie. And until the end, then it gets a little corny. What? 127? I literally showed 12. Little person. 12. 127 people, bored folk. Wow. I guess maybe I appeased the Twitch karma gods or something. I don't know. No, not horny at all. Not right now. Too early. Well, it's not that it's too early. It's just... So... Aw, somebody's trying to talk crap. Isn't that adorable? Aw. That's just adorable little green baby. Alright, for the most realistic, I'd say Wolf Creek. Wolf Creek was pretty realistic. And pretty brutal. Oh. I'm sorry, can't be as perfect as you. The scariest, there's only one horror movie that truly scared me, but also it's because I was young when I watched it. But it remains the only movie to this day that I do not like to watch because it makes me uncomfortable, but I acknowledge it as being great because of the feeling it gives me, and that is Candyman. Yep. Tony Todd. Oh my god. And Virginia Madsen. The Spice. It just, everything about that movie just, darkness, bathrooms, and mirrors. Three things that you cannot avoid. Well, I don't know. Green might be able to, and all his bitterness. Do I believe in angels? Is this a pickup line? Are we going theological on this? Because if it's a pickup line, then deliver. Because if not, then I'll get a little too theological on it. But yeah, that movie. Because that would be too. That really creeped me out. They did such a great job on his hook. It's just, it just did a really good job on it. And it was very raw, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that it was actually filmed in Cabrini Green, and that you could feel the tension of, you know, the gangs and the violence that was around them. If you look into the making of it, they actually had to pay off gang members to not hurt them and to kind of, you know, protect them a little bit. But still, one of the production vans got shot up. Anyways, that was probably just their way of joking. Oh, those funny gangsters. But, the tension is palpable in the movie. You can feel that nobody is ever really comfortable, and that it really does convey very well for, you know, what the movie is trying to get you to feel. You know, the abject horror. Do you believe in different levels of angels, or all angels the same? Well, if we're really going to go into that conversation, angels, no. I used to be really into the supernatural. I used to actually help different paranormal groups secure locations for investigations. I do believe in like an essence. I think an essence of a person, an imprint of a person, can be left behind and experienced by others. I also think that whenever we deal with a great loss, we do become more perceptive to these things. So If that is our mind creating it or something actually happening, I don't know. And I don't think that I can speak in absolutes. I don't think anybody can speak in absolutes. Um, is that you, Michael? You say heathen a lot. Um, but yeah, I think that the essence of a person can stay. Like, you know, I've been told by paranormal investigators that I'm sensitive, and I do know that when I go certain places, I feel like a heaviness. Figured it was. I feel like a heaviness in certain areas. And some people say it's because I can, you know, sense the ghosts. Um, I don't know. I've had some unexplained things happen to me, but it's actually kind of funny because I'd say within the last couple months I have switched, and I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in that. I think that, well, it goes in the traditional sense. We have cameras everywhere. I mean, everything is constantly recorded. And you're telling me that these ghosts happen to know enough about it that none of it has ever been caught. I just don't buy it. Are you a cheesehead? Robert from Wisconsin? I've never been to Wisconsin. It seems like it'd be very cold. And I did not mean to like be rude and insult you. I was just playing around. But I've never been to Wisconsin. That's just not a state I want to go to. I think it's too cold for me. Pretty much anything above Dixon line. Yeah, really. But I can't go much further than the Panhandle. I'll get cold. I will freeze. The best horror movie. There's so many, you know, qualifiers for that. The best newest or newer horror movie. Oh, I've seen like pictures and everything from the state parks and national parks. It's beautiful. I just can't handle cold. Like Pacific Northwest, Pacific North, no. Hell no, I'm not going there. I will die. Or New England. No, I'll die. I can't handle it. And same with like Wyoming and Montana. Oh, look at this. Vast nothing. Frozen tundra. Although I would like to go see, I would love to be able to go to every single state and national park. Like all around. I think that would be just an amazing bucket list adventure. But I get so tired of sitting in the car for that long. But, oh yeah, so anyway, so the best recent horror movie, I would actually have to say is The Conjuring. It really, I have to give it credit, it really was a good movie. It really was, it was the first movie in a long time that got kind of a visceral reaction from me. I remember when Lily Taylor? Whatever. When she's under the house going after the little girl at the end, I remember it was just like boom, boom, boom. It was just so many things happening. And I remember I saw it with my best friend Tim. And I remember saying, just stop. Oh my God, just stop. Because it was so much and it just kept building and building. And there was never any of this letdown. And that's good. That's a good formula to follow in horror movies. But it was just, man, yeah, that one got me on there. But no residual. Like I like the way Alfred Hitchcock designed his movies. He didn't want you to be scared in theaters. He wanted you to wait until you got home, until you were alone, and it was dark. And that's when he wanted you to feel the fear of the movie. And I think that is a fantastic filmmaking route to go because it leaves a much more lasting impression because like the Tony Todd movie, I can't say it, that I mean, that continues to have a lasting, you know, imprint on me. The most realistic, Well, I've already gone through a couple. Wolf Creek. Let's see. For horror movies, some of the most realistic. I'm trying to think of like anything out of the norm. Well, for a procedural kind of horror movie, I don't really consider it horror. Exorcism of Emily Rose is actually pretty good. They followed a lot of the court transcripts. Um, they followed. I mean, of course, they put in the supernatural element that it was a possession. And also when it comes to possessions, I don't believe in them either. I believe they're all a form of mental illness. I don't care if a person is speaking a language that they don't know, blah, 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 unless you have an absolute expert on that language and somebody that has been with this person every day of their life that can verify that they don't know one word of this language. They've never watched anything that had this language on there. That, to me, is the only way. But even then, I don't believe... I think exorcisms are more of a form of psychological treatment. Oh, wow. Empress. I like that. Makes me feel all fancy. Need my little tiara. I don't have a tiara. I need a cape. I want a cape. Cool people have capes, but they don't fly. Yeah, I get griped at because I don't text it, or type it. Apparently that makes a difference. I thought that had a cuss word on there. But right now I am trying to come up with some different costumes. I'm just coming up with different ideas. I am doing great. How are you doing? Let's see. K-Fresh. Sounds like a rapper name. K-Fresh. I have this one character that I don't know if I'm going to do it as the Wicked Witch of the West. Whichever one died. I can't remember. Hell yeah! I want a giant staff. I want a actually, I have a Maleficent staff, but I'm very disappointed in how it turned out. All those should bend to my will. But, yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to do the Wicked Witch, because I have the red glitter shoes, or if I'm going to be the Scarecrow, because I have the bubonic plague mask. So I kind of don't know which one I'm going to do on that. I think I might just kind of do them both. I don't know. I like group costumes and everything. Oh, my face looks so shiny. I don't have any makeup on. It looks so shiny. It's not, though. I did put my face lotion on, so. My burn's getting better. It's almost gone. But yeah, so I'm working on that one. I want to create a really cool fawn or a pan costume. Obviously, well, I mean, I could be the one to wear that, but it works best with the bare chest, and, you know. So, I don't know. It kind of depends on how my mood is for that one. I'm going to start crafting the legs, because I have to do the knees so they bend the other, so they look like they bend the other way, obviously. You know, I'm not that committed. So I need to work on that. The thing is most of my stuff is with metal and wood. That is what I know the most to work with. So working with anything softer than those two can create issues. But I'm going to try. So, alright, I just wanted to get a quick little video out there. Say hi to Tom, Mike, all y'all. Fresh. Let's see, K-Fresh. Darth. And where'd that jackass Green go? Gringo, yeah. I don't see him on here. But anyways, I will say adieu to you too. Butthole. But yeah, so other than that, that's pretty much it right now. I'm still going to stream later, probably going to be playing until dawn. And nobody even has to watch it. I don't care. I love that game. I will play by myself. It's no fun to play by yourself, though. Alright, so I will talk to everybody later, and I hope y'all feel like you got to know a little bit more about me. Could change. Could not. I don't know. We'll see. So, y'all take it easy. Be nice to each other.